Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ninth standard. I welcome you to the next chemistry class, and we have covered a few lessons of chemistry. Now we will move on to a very interesting lesson of a chemistry, and that too is probably you know the name of that lesson, and that lesson is carbon, an important element. Why it is called as an important element? Because each and every organic thing that you see in this world is made of carbon itself. So carbon is an important element. So what is an element? Basically an element, and what are the different types of the element? See, you have to recall what is an element basically, and what are the different types of element. Okay, so an element of a substance of element is a basically a atom, or a basic unit of a thing. Like elements, they are of different types. Metals are the elements, non-metals are the elements, and metalloids are the elements. These are the three types of the elements: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. What remain behind on complete combustion of any organic compound? कोई What remains behind on the complete combustion of any organic compound? If you burn any organic compound like tire or wood, for example, or a cotton bed sheet, or a cotton pillow, or clothes, what remain behind after burning? Or a cardboard, for example, after you burn all these things together or on separate basis, what you will get? You will left with the ashes, and in that ashes something is there. And what is that thing? That is the carbon. So the thing that remains after complete combustion of any compound, any organic compound, is a carbon. What type of element is carbon? So basically elements are of three types. First is, elements are of three types. So metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So for this carbon is non-metal. So carbon is non-metal. Have you seen any jewelry made of carbon? No. Have you seen any bicycle made of carbon? No. Have you seen the bridges or a sword made of carbon? No. So basically, carbon is non-metal, so it can't be used instead of metals. So carbon is non-metal. Now, here is some thing that you already know, and I think you already know this type of things in your own laboratory, chemistry lab, that is your kitchen. And the thing is that basically, I think everybody know what smell or what odor comes when our milk get burned. After burning, complete burning of the milk that is left on the stove, what left? The blackish color something left, or that stick to the utensil in which we used to boil the milk, and that blackish color thing is called as carbon. So here is the experiment that they are telling us to do. Take a petri dish or evaporating dish, and add some milk in it, and heat it until it get milk get evaporated, and what remain after burning that thing is a blackish color, some substance, and that substance is nothing but the carbon. Takes now they want to do some different practical, so that for that purpose they ask us to take a test tube, and each test tube you have to add wool, then sugar, then dry leaves, and hairs and seeds, pulses and plastics in each respective test tube. After that, you have to heat up with the help of Bunsen burner, and what we will get after all heating is done, we will get sugar get melted, and then after the melting, it will become a blackish in color. Wool also the same. Dry leaves after complete burning, they get reduced to the a coal-like substance that is called as carbon. Hairs, seeds, split pulses, plastic, whatever organic thing, when it comes to the burning or combustion, then you will get a blackish color substance, and that substance is called as carbon. So I think you got a rough idea that each and everything that is made of carbon basically except glass, except metals. So if you go through your daily routine since morning to the bedtime, since wake up to the bedtime, you will observe that most of the things that you used are made of carbon. So basically, now we will concentrate on this important element carbon. Its symbol is C, and its atomic number is 6, and its mass, atomic mass is 12. Exactly, that is the double of the 6. Its electronic configuration is 2 and 4, and its valency is 4. Why 4? Because its electronic configuration is 2 and 4. Either it carbon has to give 4 electrons form a uh, to form a stable octet configuration, or carbon has to take a 4 electron from the other elements in order to complete its octet. Means its large shell should have 8 electrons. That's why carbon has to give or has to take 4 electrons, so its valency is 4. And I have told you that it is a non-metallic element. Now, the carbon abundantly found in the nature, and it is always remember carbon occurs in free state also and in combined state. Free state carbon occur in the environment as a free, as a carbon only, and it combines with anything else as uh, a combined product. I just want to elaborate this point. In free state, diamond is a best example. In diamond, all the whole diamond is made of only carbon atoms, nothing else. And in combined state, carbon plus oxygen gives to carbon dioxide. So we know the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, these are the combined state of carbon. Now, you have to make a list of what you used, the metallic objects and glass objects and whatever and other objects. So basically, when we wake up and we used to open our door, and the door knob is made of the metallic object. Second is then we used to wash our teeth, and we used to wash our teeth and we used to see ourselves in a mirror, and that mirror is made of glass. And after that washing our for the washing purpose we use plastic toothbrush, means plastic toothbrush, and the towel or a clothes or towel, that comes all this in other objects. So you observe that these other objects are various things that we used in our day to day life, whether it may be the food stuff, clothes, medicine, fuel, wooden objects. They all are made of, these all things together are made of what? Carbon. They are made up of carbon. So what is a compound and how the compounds are formed? Basically, compound, when the two elements combines together, they form a compound. For example, element A combines with the element B, then this AB will be a compound. When sodium combines with the chlorine and it form NaCl, so this NaCl is a compound. Okay, so basically, how these compounds are formed? Yes, that is a very good question, and I just want to elaborate over here that how these compounds are formed, and try to concentrate over here. See, we have seen that sodium gives one electron to chlorine, and chlorine take this electron. Earlier sodium's configuration is 281 and this one electron it is donating, and chlorine's configuration is electronic configuration is 2 8 and 7, and after accepting this one electron, now the compound is formed between these two, and that compound is called as NaCl. And now in this NaCl the configuration of chlorine changed to 288, and the configuration of sodium changed to 2 and 8 only. So one electron is get transferred from sodium to chlorine, and the bond that is formed between sodium and chlorine, and that bond is due to the transfer of electrons, and this bond is called as ionic bond. And my dear friends and students, this ionic bond is the very strong bond. Ionic bond is a very strong bond. Why? Because due to the complete transfer of electron this bond is formed. Due to the complete transfer of electron this bond is formed. That's why ionic bond is a strongest bond. The point you have to remember, ionic bond is a strongest bond. Why? Because the complete transfer of the complete transfer of the electron take place. Now this NaCl, how this NaCl compound is formed? Because the transfer of electron from sodium to the chlorine take place. That's why this compound is formed, and the bond that held these elements together to form a compound is called as ionic bond. I hope this is clear to you. Now the next thing is that the second type of bond, that is called as covalent bond. That is called as covalent bond. And my friends, you have to remember this, and understand this, how the covalent bond is formed. And the carbon's property is that carbon basically forms covalent bond with the other carbon and with other elements. How carbon is forming this type of bonds? Let me explain to you. Now see, what is a carbon's atomic number? See, this is a carbon and its atomic number is 6. So what is the electronic configuration? 2 and 4. So I have to draw this. This is a carbon, this is its first orbit, and this is its second orbit. First orbit consists of only 2 electrons, and fourth orbit is consist of 4 electron. Correct? Now come to this thing that any atom, come to the point that any atom that want to form a bond with a carbon, okay, bond with a carbon, for example, hydrogen, for example, okay, hydrogen is having how many electrons? What is atomic number of hydrogen? That is 1. Okay, so basically what is electronic configuration of hydrogen? That is 1, only one electron. So this is a hydrogen, okay, H. And for your information, for your knowledge, it is on having only one electron. So now carbon and hydrogen, they want to make a bond. So hydrogen is only having only one electron. So hydrogen doesn't want to share, doesn't want to donate, or doesn't want to give his electron to the carbon. Then how it's possible to form a bond with that? Second scenario, carbon doesn't want to give its 4 electrons to the hydrogen, because hydrogen is having only one electron, and carbon is having 4 electrons in its last shell. So he doesn't want to share the electron, he doesn't want to give its electron, and hydrogen doesn't have that much power to took all 4 electrons from the carbon itself. Okay, now the thing is that they come to a common conclusion point. What is that common conclusion point? Let me explain. Okay, that common conclusion is point is that, okay, what we will do, we will only share our electrons. What we will do, we will come to a conclusion that we will share the electron. Now see this diagram basically. Okay, now this is a carbon, this is carbon. Oh, I'm not any, this is carbon, and its first orbit with the 2 electrons, its last orbit with the 4 electrons. Now I am writing this all these 4 electrons in this way: 1 electron over here, 1 over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here. Okay, now the thing is that this hydrogen, this is hydrogen. Okay, this hydrogen is having only one electron. Okay, and this one electron of hydrogen is over here. Okay, now they form some type of sharing over here, and this area looks like this one. This is orbit of one electron, this is a second electron, and these 2 electrons sit over here, one over here, one over here. And if we see from carbon side, we will see here 1 1 2, this 3, and this 4 5 electrons. And if we see it from hydrogen side, we will see 1 electron of hydrogen over here, second is here. So the 2 electrons of hydrogen is shared. Means what? They share a common space in which both atoms electrons are rotating, or they are forming a bond. So one hydrogen will attach over here, second hydrogen is attached over here, third hydrogen attached over here, and they form this type of bond, and this bond is called as covalent bond. This bond is called as what? Covalent bond. So what is covalent bond? Covalent bond is a bond that is formed due to the sharing of electrons between the atoms, and covalent bond is the weakest bond in the nature. Covalent bond is the weakest bond between the compound. So at last I just want to summarize. So compounds that are obtained from directly indirectly from the plants, and so compounds that are obtained directly and indirectly from the plants and animals. The compounds that are obtained from plants and animals are called as organic compounds, and the compounds that are obtained from the minerals is called as inorganic compound. Compound that are obtained from plants and animal means they are biological origin, they are called as organic compound, and the compound that are obtained from the minerals they are called as inorganic compound. Organic compound contains carbon. Each and every organic compound is contained of carbon. Carbon is the element of the our DNA also, okay, and RNA also, from which the characters from parents to the offspring are transferred. So, this scientist basically he synthesized the urea from ammonium cyanate. He synthesized the urea from ammonium cyanate, that is the organic compound. He made organic compound from inorganic. Okay, since then the many organic compounds are formed with the from the inorganic compounds. The science which deals with the study of carbon is called as organic chemistry. The science which deals with the study of carbon is called as organic chemistry. So, for today's lecture, this is the thing that I took. The covalent bond, that is covalent bond is the weakest form of the bond. Ionic bond is the strongest bond. Covalent bond is the bond that formed due to the sharing of electrons, and ionic bond that is formed due to the complete transfer of the electrons. Covalent bond is weakest bond, ionic bond is strongest bond. covalent bond is uh, Covalent bond is formed due to the sharing of electrons, and ionic bond is formed due to the complete transfer of the electrons. In the next lecture, we will see occurrence of carbon and properties of carbon, inshallah. Any doubts? If you are facing, just send that doubt into my WhatsApp number, or in a live session we will try to resolve all your queries, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.